Bankruptcy is a legal process that helps you eliminate debt you can't repay. That's the positive side of bankruptcy. But I know people are worried about the impact bankruptcy will have on their credit report and their ability to get a loan after bankruptcy. I'm Doug Hoyes, a licensed insolvency trustee with Hoyes Michaelis & Associates. Well, let's look at how bankruptcy appears on your credit report. Bankruptcy will appear in two sections of your credit report: the legal or public records section and the individual accounts section, which is a list of all of your debts. When you file bankruptcy, the Office of the Superintendent of Bankruptcy will send information to the credit bureaus, who will put a note in the legal section that states you filed a bankruptcy proceeding and the date you filed. Your credit report also includes a trade accounts section of activity reported to the credit bureaus by your creditors, which includes the name of the creditor, the balance outstanding, the last payment date, and how many months you might be behind on payments. When you file bankruptcy, your creditors will add a note that the debt is included in bankruptcy. The next update happens when you're discharged. The Office of the Superintendent of Bankruptcy will notify the credit bureaus when your bankruptcy is finished, which is when you get your discharge. This discharge date is added to the legal section in your credit report. So, when are these notes on your credit report removed? In the case of the legal section notice, for a first-time bankrupt, Equifax removes the notice 6 years after your discharge. TransUnion removes the notice 7 years after your discharge. In your trade accounts section, the credit bureaus will purge this information 6 or 7 years after the date of last activity, which is usually the date you were discharged. It's important to know that you can start to rebuild your credit long before this 6 or 7 year period ends. There are steps you can take to rebuild your credit even while you're bankrupt. I don't recommend deciding to hold off on filing bankruptcy because you're worried about your credit. If you have more debt than you can ever hope to repay, your credit is probably already bad or soon will be. You can get a secured and sometimes unsecured credit card after bankruptcy and sometimes while you're bankrupt, depending on what else is on your credit report. Over the years, I've had thousands of clients who've been able to get a loan after their discharge from bankruptcy. The terms of the loan, like the interest rate and down payment required, will depend on their income and what steps they've taken to rebuild their credit. Your ability to borrow at favorable terms will improve over time as you work to rebuild your credit. But the credit rebuilding process often starts and moves faster if you eliminate troublesome debt first.